Greek and Latin roots. List 2, all eyes and ears. This is your phone video, and phone means sound and is a Greek root. So your words with this root are cacophony, xylophone, phonograph, saxophone, telephone, phonetic, and symphony. So your first word is cacophony, and this is a mixture of various unpleasant sounds or harsh sounds. So if you can imagine maybe your alarm clock going off, you have dishes falling out of the cupboard, a child is crying, there's sirens going on, that would be a cacophony. There'd be a lot of or a mixture of unpleasant sounds, and they would be harsh, and that picture describes about what probably my face would look like if I heard a cacophony. I would have my ears closed because I just couldn't handle all those unpleasant sounds together. So for your homework, under cacophony, or beside cacophony, I want you to write 3 sounds that if they were all together at the same time, you think would create a cacophony. Next is a xylophone. So this is a musical instrument that is played by striking a row of metal bars of different lengths with one or more wooden or plastic mallets. So in the picture, you can see that the person has mallets, or those, sometimes people might call them hammers. They're called mallets, and he's striking or hitting different rows of bars that are different lengths that produce different sounds. So that is an xylophone. So for your homework, I want you to think about what you've learned in music class and tell me if a xylophone is a percussion instrument, a brass instrument, or a woodwind instrument. So you're either going to write percussion instrument, woodwind instrument, or brass instrument, and tell me which type of instrument you think a xylophone is. Next is a phonograph, and so this is a machine that reproduces sound or music by placing a needle in contact with a grooved rotating disc. It's also known as a record player. So if you don't know what a record is, you could ask your parents or grandparents. They were circular pieces of vinyl that had little ridges in them. Actually, I have one at school. If you remind me, I'll show it to you. And they rotated around, and it was called a record. And you played them. You played records. Think about a CD, kind of, with a phonograph, and that's how you listen to music. So, for phonograph on your homework, I want you to tell me how it is the same as a CD and how it is different than a CD. Your next word is saxophone. This is a woodwind instrument that is usually a curved metal tube with keys that change the pitch and a mouthpiece with a single reed. So I'm sure you're probably familiar with a saxophone, or maybe you even play one. Next is a telephone, and this is an instrument for communicating and reproducing sounds across a distance. So you might pick up the telephone and call someone. Telephones, I think, are typically attached to a wall or something like that, where a cell phone is mobile. You don't need it attached to a wall. But back in the day, we only had telephones. We didn't have many portable devices. But a telephone is an instrument for communicating and reproducing sounds across a distance. Phonetic means relating to spoken language and speech sounds in a way to represent sound with a single symbol. So here at the bottom, you're going to see these slashes with these letters and symbols, and that probably looks kind of weird to you. So this is actually the phonetic symbolization of the word phonetic. So if you would sound it out, this indicates the emphasis, phonetic. So that's how you literally say the word phonetic. And so it's taking the spoken language, the word, the sounds of the word phonetic, and writing it. Phonetic is exactly that, taking what we say and writing it in a way and representing sounds with symbols. And symphony. Symphony is a large orchestra of wind, string, and percussion instruments. So in that picture, you can see that there are percussion instruments in the back, and then there are string instruments. I don't know if you can see woodwind instruments in there, but a symphony is a band or an orchestra of wind, string, and percussion instruments.